Good morning.
On today's agenda, we have 22 consent agenda items and 4 noticed items. We will begin with our consent agenda. Commissioners, you've had the opportunity to review the items on the consent agenda. At this time, do any of you have any questions? And I will begin with Commissioner Keither.
No, thank you. Not at this time.
And Commissioner Keene.
No questions, thank you. I would move approval of the consent agenda.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda. Is there any further discussion on that motion? Hearing none, all in favor, please vote aye.
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 Aye. Any opposed, say no. The consent agenda is approved. We will now move to our noticed items, our 4 noticed items, and looks like Mr. Fedotin is the lucky one that gets to present all 4 of them. We will begin with our first item, which is in docket number 24 EKSE 123CON, and this is a proposed order on a special contract in that docket. And as I mentioned, our presenter is Mr. Brian Fedotin. Good morning, Brian.
Morning, Commissioners. On August 2nd, Evergy, Kansas South and HF Sinclair El Dorado Refining LLC filed a joint application to approve a new special contract between the two of them, which does not change the rates that HF Sinclair pays under the current special contract. On February 19th of this year, Commission staff filed a report and recommendation recommending approval of the special contract without conditions. Staff believes the special contract will benefit Evergy's other customers because of the revenue generated by the special contract exceeds the variable costs allocated to HF Sinclair. Staff believes the special contract is necessary to incentivize HF Sinclair to continue taking electric service from Evergy instead of expanding its code generation unit to bypass Evergy's system for its electric energy needs. On February 27th, CURB filed its response to staff's report and recommendation, agreeing with staff's analysis. This order notes that another significant benefit to the proposed special contract to Evergy and its customers is that it allows Evergy to count the capacity of HF Sinclair's cogen unit for SPP resource adequacy requirements. And without counting that capacity, Evergy may need to build additional generation capacity, which would be added to rate base and borne by its other customers. So for these reasons and others that I'm not going into in this presentation, this order would find approval of the special contract is in the public interest and would approve the joint application. With that, I'm available for questions.
Thank you, Brian. Are there any questions on this item, beginning again with Commissioner Keither?
No.
And Commissioner Keene?
No questions, thank you. I would move approval of the order.
Second.
Got a motion and a second to approve the order as described in this docket. Is there any further discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all in favor, please vote aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed, say no. The order is approved. We now move to our second noticed item. This is docket number 24 KGSG 603CON, and this is a proposed order making a prima facie determination in that docket. And our presenter is again Mr. Brian Fedotin.
Yes, thank you. On February 29th, David Johnson filed a formal complaint against Kansas Gas Service, alleging it was overbilling him by exaggerating his monthly gas usage and falsely claiming that it investigated his complaints. In this order, we conclude that the formal complaint establishes a prima facie case and pursuant to KAR 82-1-220C should be served upon KGS for an answer within 10 days of service. With that, I'm available for questions.
All right. Are there any questions for Mr. Fredette on this item? Commissioner Keither? I'm seeing
No.
a shake. And Commissioner Keen.
No, thank you. I'd move approval of the order.
Got a motion and a second to approve the order as described in this docket. If there is no further discussion, all in favor, please vote aye.
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 Aye. Any opposed, say no. The order is approved. We now move to our third noticed item. This is in docket number 24 EKCE 608 COM, and this is another proposed order making a prima facie determination in this docket, and our presenter again is Mr. Brian Fedottin.
Yes, thanks again, commissioners. On March 1st, Dr. Jeffrey Van Petten filed a formal complaint against Evergy Kansas Central seeking $34,700 in damages to his property due to construction of a new power line. He also accuses Evergy of harassing him while attempting to acquire an easement on his property. This order finds that the formal complaint establishes a prima facie case and pursuant to KAR 82-1-220C should be served upon Evergy for an answer within 10 days.
Thank you. Are there any questions on this item? Beginning again with Commissioner Keither. Looks like a
Okay.
no. Commissioner Keen.
No questions. I'd move approval of the order.
Got a motion and a second to approve the order described in this docket. If there's no further discussion, all in favor, please vote aye.
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 Aye. Any opposed, say no. The order is approved. All right, we now move to our fourth and final noticed item. This is in docket number 24 TRAM 587 PEN, and this is a proposed order setting a hearing in that docket. And our presenter again, for the final time, Mr. Brian Fedottin.
Yes, thank you. And it looks like we have some members of technical staff here in case you guys need some detail beyond what I provide. On February 29th, the commission issued an order suspending intrastate motor carrier operations of Royce Varela, DBA Varela Trucking of Garden City, Kansas, after finding several major violations. Pursuant to KSA 77-542, Mr. Varela may make a written request for hearing within 15 days of the order suspending motor carrier operations. And on March 7th, Mr. Varela emailed Commission Staff Counsel requesting a hearing. So pursuant to KSA 66-1129 AA, a hearing shall be held within 10 days of receiving the written request from a motor carrier. Thus, this order sets a hearing on the order suspending intrastate motor carrier operations. The hearing will be conducted by Zoom and will be set for this Thursday, March 14th, beginning at 1:30 p.m. And failure to appear at the hearing may result in being held in default under the CAPA. With that, I'm available for questions.
All right, thank you, Brian. Are there any questions for Brian? Or I see we have Gary Davenport here from the Transportation Division, and I will begin with Commissioner Keither.
No questions. Thank you.
All right, and Commissioner Keen?
One very brief question, Brian. Is Mr. Varela represented by counsel?
I don't believe so. I know that our litigation staff has had communications with him, and my understanding is that he's represented, that he is pro se.
Okay. Thank you for that. No further questions. I would move approval of the order.
Second.
Got a motion and a second to approve the order as described in this docket. Is there any further discussion on that motion? Hearing none, all in favor, please vote aye.
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 Aye. Any opposed, say no. The order is approved. That appears to take us to the conclusion of all the items noticed on today's agenda. If there's no further business to come before us today, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
I move that we adjourn.
Second.
A motion and a second to adjourn. All in favor, please vote aye.
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 Aye, it's unanimous. We're adjourned. Take care,
Thank
everyone.
you.